All right, shalom, shalom to the nation of Israel, shalom. All right, this is your brother Kazakia out of Great Millstone, New Orleans, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah, right? But prior to getting started, we want to give all infinite honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, all right? And the title of today's lesson is going to be, we have spiritual friends on high. All right, that's the title of today's lesson, is we have spiritual friends on high. All right, and as we enter into closer to the coming of Yahweh Shema Shai, man, we're gonna have activities ramped up, pursuing back to both sides of the Lord, man. The righteous angels are gonna be coming to help, to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel, from out of their calamities, from out of their troubles, their woes, okay? And, also, in the spirit, that these demons also are going to get ramped up, right? That's going to be causing basically hell on earth, man. You know what I'm saying? But, for the hopeful elect, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be protected in those times, okay? They're going to be protected from, certain troubles, okay? The scriptures talk about, the people, being delivered, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off here with this first precept. All right, this is Psalms 34 and verse 7. It says, the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and delivered them. Okay, so yeah, man, the angel of the Lord, man. Okay, the son, the angels, in general, you know what I'm saying? Okay, they help they help Israelites, right? The elect of the nation of Israel during the times of their trouble. Okay, and that's pretty much one of their purposes, man. You know what I'm saying? Because as much as they see us going through the things that we're going through, they want to get to the point where they could start intervening in any sense. You know what I'm saying? Which they're everywhere, right? Basically still doing the will of Yahweh Shema Shai, unseen. But there will come a point where some of these angels of the Lord, man, they're going to be seen, man. People are actually going to see angels, so to speak. Okay, whether they come in the form of a man or more of a angelic state, right? But the point is, they're going to be, the elect is going to be protected, man. Okay, the scriptures talk about that. Let's get another. Matter of fact, I'll go down a little bit in this same chapter. Okay, all right, this is verse 15 out of the same chapter. Okay, it says, the eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, okay, and his ears are open unto their cry. Okay, so the eyes of the Lord, okay, are upon the righteous, man. The angels, okay, are watching, the people mannerisms, right, their behaviors, their actions, the things that they're doing, man. They're taking they're taking note of it and delivering to Yahweh Shema Shai, man, as a report. All right, and I'm gonna get that just real quick on a side note. This is Proverbs 15 and verse 3. It says, the eyes of the Lord are in every place. Okay, the eyes of the Lord are in every place. The angels are everywhere, man. The chariots are all around, man. You go outside, man, there's chariots all over the place, man, but you just can't see them, which reminds me of, it takes me back to, 2 Kings, I believe it is, the 6th chapter, where, the servant asks, Elisha, because he was, troubled, and Elisha, basically, prayed to the Lord that he opened his eyes, man, that he's able to see. And he was able to see that what? That just what Elisha said. He said, there'd be more roughly paraphrasing, there'd be more with us than with them. And he was able to see the chariots. Okay. So we have to, basically have that like-minded mindset, know that Yahweh Shema Shai is with us, man, that he's watching over us, that he's protecting us, man. And that he's getting the stage prepared, to deliver us out of our troubles, out of, different woes and calamities, because that's just a lot of some people, man. The Lord's going to work great miracles. He's did it once before, leading Israel out of the land of Egypt, and he's going to do it for the elect, delivering them basically into the kingdom. Okay. All right. And, basically that's based off of, kind of going into, the second Exodus. All right. Let's go ahead and get another precept. Okay. Let's get this one. Put this phone on. Do not disturb. Slakia, bear with me. All right. Let's see here. I'll start one verse up. This is Hebrews 1 and verse 13. It says, but to which of the angels said he at the time, sit on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. Right. And at verse 14, it says, are there not all ministering spirits, okay, sent forth to minister for them? And it says, who shall be heirs of salvation, man? Okay. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we want. We want to be heirs of salvation, but the spirits, right? The angels, okay, they're so what? They're ministering spirits, they're servants. Okay. So, somewhere, throughout the, the course of the day, you may be having angels, intervene within your daily walk, your daily life, to get you to do something that needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? You may be you may be heading somewhere or doing something, and you may be like, you know what, I'm not going to go that way or do this. You know what I'm saying? You could be influenced, man. You can be influenced to do things, from the Heavenly Father, and from spirits, man. Okay. But, those are, what the scriptures call basically, would be like a faithful friend, man. You know what I'm saying? If you have, angels watching over you, guiding you, protecting you, making sure you're all right, making sure your family's good. You know what I'm saying? You got a protection and a hedge from Yahweh Shema Shai, with direct orders from on high to be protected, man. That's a beautiful thing. That's why I titled today's lesson, basically, we have spiritual friends on high, man. You know what I'm saying? The angels know us, down, to the T, man. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get another precept. All right. We're actually going to get that Second Kings was talking about earlier. Okay. We're just going to read the verses on it. All right, this is 2 Kings 6 and verse 13. And he said, go and spy where he is, and that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Verse 14, it says, therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host. And they came by night and compassed the city about. Okay. 15, verse 15. And it says, and when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forward, behold, and hosts compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. So this is talking about Elisha being, basically surrounded, right? And it says, and his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? You say, what we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? They got, troops basically, just all around us. What are we gonna do, man? And he said, and he answered, fear not, For they that be with us are more than they that be with them. Okay. And, the servant's probably like, what is this, what is he talking about? Like, what's going on, man? I don't see anybody, no one's here to defend us, man. Okay. All right. But it's going to tell you what happens in the next verse. And it says, and Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha, man. So he just had, kind of like what the scriptures say, like just multitudes of what, chariots, man, all around him, man. Okay. It's, and that's a beautiful thing, so those things happen in ancient time. Okay. Our forefathers, prayed for those things and became accustomed to them. Okay. It wasn't some, big, top secret. You know what I'm saying? They really believed in those things. Okay. So in today's time, in like manner, we ought to do the same thing. Believe in Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, and that we do have spiritual friends on high, man. That's been ordered, from on high to, protect the elect, man. And all things will fall into place, right? The Lord is really going to manifest, a lot, before the eyes of men, before his coming, man. Okay. All right, let's get another precept. All right, we'll probably close out this one. It's not going to be that long. All right, this is I'm gonna start at verse 9. This is Psalms 91 and verse 9. It says, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation. Verse 10, it says, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. Okay. So you're going to be protected during that time period, man. That's what it's going into. Okay. And it says, for he shall give his angels, right? His angels, those spiritual friends from on high, right? His angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways, right? He's going to, make sure you stay, where you need to be, spiritually, man. During that time period, man. You know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be so much going on the earth, and there's a lot going on right now, but we haven't even reached, the climatic moments of the Lord's movie yet. Okay. We have a lot more to get to, those points, man. Okay. But we are in the beginning preludes, or the preliminaries of the very end. Okay. And it says, all right, I'm going to read at verse 11 again. It says, for he shall give his angels charge over thee. Okay. And it says to keep thee in all thy ways. All right. I don't actually want to read the same verse in the NLT real quick. Bear with me. All right, this is in the NLT 91, Psalm 91 and verse 11. It says, for he will order his angels to protect you wherever you go. Right. Like I said, that's the title, today's lesson is we have spiritual friends on high, man. So, don't fear. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is going to make, he's going to put everything in order. He's going to set everything in place, man. Esau, Edom, he's going down. The other nations are also going down. Okay. And the elect, is going to be saved, man, from the four winds of the earth. Okay. All right. But Yeah, that's pretty much all I have, through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shemal Shai. Lord willing, this was edifying first and foremost to the hopeful elect. But prior to getting out of here, we want to give all infinite honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopeful elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, all right? Kwam Yasha Allah, Ababa Ball, Shalom.